Well, I made a video about this recently, but I gave myself hope in the sense that you know how much I love cycling. And if people have watched my video, they already have heard this, but I'll say it again. I've always had this obsession with cycling that I've always felt guilty for because cycling is a selfish sport. It truly is. You do it alone. It takes a long time during the day, and you get tired afterwards. It's not like I'm going to go out and shoot some hoops for an hour. It's like your whole life starts to revolve around this. Your sleeping habits, your eating habits, you're eating way more. You're alone a lot of the day, and that's what you have to do to become the best or to become extremely good. So I've always had a bad relationship with that because I love doing it, but I realize the downsides of it, and I'm not willing to dedicate my life to that, even though that's some people's choice. And, you know, that's what they do, and they make money from it, but I don't want to. So I finally figured out a way to do cycling without the guilt of doing it. Instead of like my goal being, I want to be the best. Of what? Mm-hmm. What does that even mean? Like of the neighborhood? It's so childish. The best of the bike. It makes no sense. So my goal now is to think of cycling in terms of the other things that I do. Like I want to be able to do 14 pull-ups whenever I want to. Mm-hmm. That's my goal. I don't have like I'm not necessarily training for anything. I'm not like competing with anybody. But I want to be able to do 3 sets of 20 push-ups anytime I want to. I want to be able to do 20 leg raises. Like these are just like these benchmarks. I want to be able to hold a bar for 2 minutes. Yeah. Hang from a bar for 2 minutes. I have like specific goals, like attainable goals that I can hold on to for a long time. Mm-hmm. With cycling, I never had that, and I thought, well, what? Because cycling is so arbitrary. It's like, what does it mean? How do you measure it? Mm-hmm. You're just fast or you're slow, and you can get faster or slower. Yeah. So I was like, well,
so what'd you decide?
What I'm doing is thinking of it in terms of like weightlifting. I want to be able to put out a certain amount of watts on my bike per my body weight, which so like if I weigh a certain amount, it's a ratio between watts and body weight. And right now mine is pretty low. It's 1.9 watts per kilo. Like an elite athlete, that would be like 7 watts per kilo. And these number goes up pretty slowly. So the difference between 2 and 7 is like astronomical. This is not easy to do. If you're in shape and your cardiovascular system is strong and you're developed leg muscles enough to do this, you should be able to do 3 to 3.5 or 4. I would say between 3 and 3.5 to be able to enter a low grade race and be able to not be completely dying. You'd be able to hang on. I feel like that's a good benchmark to be able to sustain that, to be like, I have good cardiovascular health. 3 watts per kilo. Yeah. That's an attainable goal. That's something that's not that hard to be able to continue doing with not as much training. If you just keep up with it. Yeah. So that's kind of my... It gave me hope was that I came up with this. And it has given me some kind of peace in my mind.
You've got like a machine when you ride that kind of lets you know how much output, how much power you're putting out?
Yeah. My pedals have a function on it that tell me how many watts I'm putting out.
When it says how many watts you're putting out, like, does that actually mean that like if you were on a bike that was pedaling and could actually generate electricity that you...
If you hooked it up, it would generate electricity.
Okay.
It's the exact same... Yeah, it's the same measurement as a light bulb.